Hello, everybody, and welcome to another stream this Sunday. Uh, Hopefully, your week went well. Um, I wish I'd had more updates to show, but my week was a little busy at work. Uh, you know, Air quotes around a little bit, but yeah, in after work, I was trying to play around with like a little bit of a back alley between the buildings, and this is kind of what I ended up with. I've tried adding some vehicles as well to kind of fill in the scene, and yeah, this is how it turned out, and testing some lighting scenarios, just throughout the day. So. One of the pictures that I posted was, I believe, at night. So it looked kind of like this. And yeah, so what I was thinking about doing today. Oh, and the other thing I was working on was this corner here, which believe it or not, I was trying to find the best way to do it, and what I ended up going with is a spline. So basically, the road ends like this. It's all nice and fine when they kind of come at a like a T intersection, like this one here, or this one here that we were looking at yesterday. But when it comes to like one of those corners, well, for starters, I had to do to find a way to make the road bend at this angle. And I haven't actually tried it to do it with a landscape spline, but I found that it was really easy to do it with just a regular spline. And that way I can make sure that the spline itself, e.g. the road, can also follow this mesh that I've made. So I've used basically started with this one and through some little curve manipulation in Blender, created this one here. So of course, this being like a little bit of a tight turn for this mesh itself, you'll notice that I've kind of placed a decal here. So this is used to hide a little bit of this. You'll notice there's like a little bit of it's not so much texture stretching, but it's just kind of pulling together, like it gets the UVs, or the mesh itself is just too what's the word that I'm looking for? Kind of just squished together. So that's why I just used a decal on it, so it kind of covers it a little bit better. So this one could potentially be made, maybe a little bit bigger so that I can pull it a little bit more into here, and can also kind of hide the road markings. They're also, a little bit squished. But yeah, I felt that one was the easiest way to make this bend, and it's really easy to just maneuver this into place so that I can have it kind of join the road a little bit better, so like this. Um, yeah, and Fifth Vertex, welcome, welcome. Yeah, that's true, that's true, and I totally get that. I'm aware of it, and I'm uh, I've tried to kind of make it as least noticeable as possible. Like from this angle here, the player is not going to be at this angle anyways, so they're going to be more like street level like this. So it'd be a little bit, it won't be noticeable, I would think. Okay. Yeah, the other thing that I think might have spent a little bit too much time on was glass. And because I have a ton of materials for glass, like since I use quite a number of packages off of the marketplace, each one of them comes with their own variety of glass. And um, I've ended up with one, and I think I've actually just placed it over here at the laundromat, which um, looks, I think, a little bit decent. I think there is still some, I'm not sure if it's like an issue for like translucence and Unreal Engine 5 or what it is, but at different times of day and, depending on how the light shines on these, um, I think, let me see, it ended up looking pretty good, like, at an angle like this, for example. It's still not perfect, like there's I think Unreal has some translucency issues. I'm not entirely sure, but I it's hard to get some of the reflection just right. And it's something also probably lumen reflection related and me running just on high settings. But yeah, just trying to unify uh, one of the materials around, one type of material. So for example, in this package here, this particular material, we can actually, I'm actually just going to do this real quick. I'm just going to try and replace it with that with that material that I've put together. So for example, this one here, um, let's take a look and see if I replace it with this updated material, how it would look. Let's see, which one is it? Actually called it Glass Best, but um, so yeah, it's got a better control over the opacity as well. The only thing that I can't figure out, and I like all the materials I've run into it, especially when it comes to translucency, is like I said, this weird kind of shimmer in it, and that part I'm still trying to figure out why it does that. So, kind of looks okay. I'm thinking, oh, anyways, for a lot of these, the the material is going to be opaque, just so that you can't really look into the building, or at the same time it could be one of those like opaque materials with some blinds and just like I have it here. So for now, I'm just going to make it opaque. I'm just going to leave it as that, kind of reducing some of um, the shader complexity as well. Hey, Manga Rookie, welcome, welcome. It's going pretty good. Um, so yeah, what I was planning to do is kind of use, what I've built here to try and make something similar around you remember a couple of or actually last stream, we've made this we've put this area in place, but we didn't have too much behind the buildings. So I'm thinking I'm gonna try and reproduce what was um, what was on this little street here, over there, because I was able to find this really cool mesh on Sketchfab, and after I tweaked it a little bit, cut out some of the excess polygons, decimated it. Um, it it's still very high poly, so I still have a ways to go, but it actually turned out into something that I can make so that it's got a little bit of a kind of a drainage thing happening here, with some water, and adds a little bit more to the scene, I think, than just having it as just a plain concrete surface. So we'll try and get the same thing done over on that side. Yeah, and so this is how the this one itself looks. Um, and this is, after me, as you can see, there's like a bunch of straight edges, and also the ends I've kind of, pushed down a little bit, so they I can join them together a little bit easier without them just having like a set of vertices just, shooting out uh, between the meshes. And also, there was some stretching on a part of this. You can still see some of it around here. Unfortunately, that's how the scan was made, but it's a great scan, so very thankful for that. And yeah, let's get to it. We'll see how this is going to turn out. All right, so back here behind these buildings, we don't really have. Oh, thank you, Manga. Thank you so much. Yeah, so back here we don't really have anything going for this, so we'll see what we can achieve. All right. So first things first, I think right off the bat, I might not be needing this one since we're going to try and do it with these other meshes. So I'm just going to remove it. And oh yeah, yeah, good, good. Oh, Perforce, Perforce, gotcha, gotcha. So how do you like it? Oh, Fit Vertex. Yeah, let me. That's a very good suggestion. Is that for the issue on the the reflection on the windows? You know, like this stuff here? Oh, I've never tried that. Let me try that real quick. Thank you so much for bringing that up. Let's see. Just gonna update my post process here. So it is the final gather quality. Though, how is that gonna impact performance? Yeah, so right now I have it set to 1. Oh, it was actually a 2.25. So let's see. There's actually a couple of them. Let me see where this is. So post process. All right, so I've set them back to 1, but not really. Oh yeah, so I mean the flashing is not happening, but I think the rest of it is just how the reflection happens. You know what? I've That's a great question. It's a lumen setting, so basically inside of my post-process volume, um, like if you look for final gather quality, there is this one in the global illumination setting, which I had it set to 0.25. So thank you for Vertex. I'll keep looking at this to see how it behaves. But right off the bat, yeah, see, like there is still this thing happening, if you notice it. See? And I'm really not sure if it's, like I said, just because of my scalability. Like if I was to go to Epic, will that change it? Change anything? Oh, it actually looks worse. Uh, so then what's cinematic? Oh yeah, well there you go. Like cinematic is fine. Uh, so I'm guessing it is something um in the reflection, the lumen reflections. So yeah, there we go. I'll have to dig into that a little bit. I'm assuming if global illumination is set to cinematic, maybe actually no. So it's not that, but is it the post-processing cinematic? So global illumination cinematic and post-process cinematic. That that alone doesn't do it. Um, could it be shading? Hey Imran, hello, hello, welcome. Effects, let's just try and check these off and see which one will, probably not foliage, definitely not, oh, reflections. I was just thinking about that. It's like, oh, there's reflections. So that would do it. Let's see if I turn everything else back to high. All right, so that does have an impact on performance. Not terrible, but yeah, that really does a number for the reflections, I have to say. Let's see, would that be on Epic as well? No, Epic does not support it. So it would have to go to cinematic reflections. Um, yeah, so it looks like if I just leave global illumination to high, it's still going to work okay for this one. So yeah, I mean the reflections now are just really nice. Uh, like like actual real-time reflections. That's pretty cool. So yeah, let's leave it like that for now. I'm just gonna try and see in different areas how things look um, across the map. It didn't do a huge impact on performance, so that's good. Let's see, like in this back alleyway, it runs at around I don't know, like 28 or so. But if we go to reflections high, okay, so that wasn't too big of an impact, like one frame, I would say at the moment at least. So yeah, let's keep that like that for now. And also one thing that I wanted to do is just get the screen percentage down to like 75 because that also has an impact on performance. Okay, okay. So let's get to some building. Oh, thank you, Imran. Thank you. Yeah, so as I was saying, we're gonna start by looking at this side of the, kind of this back side of the buildings. And let me make sure that I'm just gonna use pretty much similar meshes. So I'm gonna rely on this piece. Yeah, yeah, fifth, definitely. I feel the same way. Like having some nice reflections, um, is quite nice to have for sure. Um, all right, so there's one piece and then the other ones are back here. And that's totally true. But I was actually happy that the impact was not as like I was expecting it would like draw a lot more in performance than what it did. So for now, it seems okay. I'll keep checking on it to see. Let me see if I was to find some other reflective surfaces. How do those look? Oh, maybe the water. I mean, that one looks kind of the same as before, I would say. Not a big difference in here. I mean, it does, I think, let's see, if I was to change this one to just high. Yeah, I'm guessing the water surface, because I mean, it's a different type of shader. It didn't have too much of a change between cinematic and high. So yeah. Okay. Well, let's get to it. Let's see what we can get done here, and just trying to set it up in a kind of a similar fashion, so to speak. I do like this mesh itself, and the fact that it's a mesh, it's pretty nice because you can like get like a ditch happening in here. So that's kind of nice. But I'm just gonna flatten it a little bit more. Um, Yeah, you'll have to implement a feature that the reflections work only when you're really close to the object. Oh, that's a good point as well. But there's also going to be that option is also something in the settings of the game. So if you run like a lower end graphics card like I am, um, I'm gonna make that available for folks to change it. Um, oh yeah, and another change that I've made, and this is minor. It's not anything visible or noticeable, But what I did was I've actually removed the little step concrete piece off of these meshes. So kind of just not a big deal, but just reducing the draw call on this by one, which, from 7 went down to 1. So I'm not sure what that is, like 15%, which still is across a bunch of these meshes, I think it should help. I know people use also baked reflections. Yeah. Well, I think even with that, it will not even with real time. I'm not sure if it shows the reflections on um, the character. Like the way this one is, for example, with it being real time. I don't think there's any reflections showing when it comes to the character. All right, so let's try and get this like so. And then we have this one back here. I'm just going to sculpt the terrain down a little bit so I can like work around it. And I already have this piece here, so I'm just going to also make use of this, just like we've done for other kind of some of these corners. Like if you remember, we had it back here, so something like this. So I'm going to use this as well over here, just as an edging to this parking lot. And that's where I wanted to place it. And I just need to override the material. Let's see, what was it? I also think I have it somewhere around here. Come on. I thought I selected the material. Let me try that one more time. Okay, so override material and override it. There we go. So let's try and make this as a kind of like an edging to this parking lot, and we'll see how we can piece some of these meshes together in a way that makes sense, and that always also doesn't look too repetitive, right? So we got kind of the ditch going on this side. We'll see how we can continue on going like continue around the parking lot. All right, let's see. So just a little bit more sculpting here. And just for scale reference, let me use another one of these cars to see how big this kind of backside parking area I'm gonna try and make it. I think I can make it a little smaller. Let's see, maybe like this. Yeah, you know what? I'll keep it a little bit bigger. We can make a little like we did over here, some of these kind of back alleys that the player will kind of wind through. All right, so I think this size is gonna be okay. Also trying to place it in such a way that it doesn't float underneath or it doesn't look like it's floating on top of these meshes. All right, so let's just quickly position some of these, and we'll see how they transition together. I mean, from one to the other. Because yes, The ditch is not straight across the mesh, but we can position it like this, and we can also kind of create a little bit of a um, you know, behind the houses, kind of cover it with a little bit of the sidewalk, where those gaps will happen, just like so. Now it gives us a little bit more space for activities. So there we go. It's actually not too bad. All right, so in places like this, I can just try and adjust the positioning of this mesh to cover it. And see, this is what I meant, that I wanted the sides kind of tapered them down a little bit, so they kind of join together like that. And then, especially at these unions between the meshes, I have like one decal that I kind of use around here. As you can see, the mesh is quite high poly, so there's still a ways that I can reduce the polygons on it. Though I don't use like a ton of these, so not that big of an issue. Fifth, no, I'm currently working on making one. It's a matter of time, unfortunately. But yeah, I am in the process of getting one put together. So hopefully within the next few weeks I'll have it. Yeah, definitely, definitely. You're totally right. Oh yeah, for sure. All right, so we have those. Let's see if I can also use this piece. I'm not really happy with how the decal works, but I'm hoping that maybe I can also actually let's leave this in place for now. Just put it off to the side. I'm gonna try and use this one here. And one thing that I've tried to do is I've tried to make them as close in the albedo as possible. Of course, it doesn't really uh, happen all the time, but they're somewhat close together. So I'm going to try and flatten these out a little more. Hopefully that's going to help with where they join together. So let's see if I make this one a little bit bigger. It's one thing to do like an alleyway. It's another thing to do like a whole, backyard. Not backyard, but uh, like the backside of these buildings. So the main thing that I'm interested in is using this at at the joint points, so you can kind of see where they meet. It's not totally obvious, but I also don't want this to look like it's just a fresh cut in these pavers. So that's where I'm trying to position these, as best as possible. We'll see if we'll see how it goes. Because this could be like a concrete patch that was put over here, and so that actually kind of fitted in over that gap. Let's see if I can just duplicate this. There we go. So that covered the the joining piece between them. And now let me also add like this little manhole cover. I think this can also help with some of those spots where there's like a little bit of a um, where they join together. So let's see how these would fit in. And of course, giving that reflective surface, I think I think helps a lot, especially in like having these puddles around here. The only thing is that um, it's kind of I'm trying to like place these. And of course, these meshes not being flat, it's going to be kind of difficult to like see right there. That can work in that spot. Hey, NGM, what is your game you're making? It's called On Your Own, just like the name of the stream, and pretty much because I am solo developer, so I am working on my own, hence the name. But yeah, welcome to the stream. Thank you so much for stopping by. Okay, yeah, so something like that. We got that puddle over there, and this one is here. So yeah. So it's a first person. It's a single player, first person action adventure game. It's not a survival game or anything like that. So the what happens is so I can tell you a little bit more about the main character. So you are a reporter that you are sent into this area where the game is taking place to investigate a claim by a family friend that they haven't heard from their family in months. So you go in to see what's going on, and you're in a plane as many other games have used it, and your plane is going to fly across the map. So basically, actually, I haven't zoomed out too much. So this is going to be kind of where the playable map is. It's about 2 by 2 kilometers, not very big. Uh, Actually, is it 2 by 2 or is it no? I think it's yeah, it's 4 by 4. My bad. Uh, I'd have to check, man. I'm sorry, but uh, and so you kind of fly across the map on this little line here, and what happens is your plane suffers a malfunction, and you start crash. You start to the plane is going down, and so you don't have any control over the plane, right? It's semi-cinematic. You can look, side to side. You can control that. There's like some movements in the rudder. I think that's called a rudder on the plane. But across this line, you're gonna need to jump out of the airplane, basically, because the plane is crashing. So across this line, let me just hide everything so you can probably see it a little bit better. Um, so across this, now you can't see the line, so I'm so sorry. But across this line here, basically here, this is the line. There's going to be 3 points that you can jump out of the airplane. And depending on where you choose to jump, the game is going to start with a set of different missions, like at the beginning. Um, and So right now I'm focusing on building out this area here because this is going to be the jump point for the demo. So you'll be able to play a few of the missions in the beginning. Meet some of the NPCs. So once you fall down, you're gonna meet some of the NPCs that are gonna start giving you some details about what's going on, give you some of the missions around here, and that way you're gonna discover what's happening on this island. There's bad guys, of course, and what are they doing? So how so that's kind of the story in a nutshell. And Yeah, so. if interested, I can jump into like a test level and show you a little bit of the game mechanics, interactions with the NPCs, like how you get missions. I'm trying to use to have like a very limited UI as well. So the missions are through a device that you kind of like a cell phone type of thing. And yeah, how long have you been using Unreal? So I've started this whole and kind of just going into your follow-up questions. What made you want to make a game? So I went to college for software engineering, and at the end, for my senior project, I thought, well, I like Java, so what better way to to do a senior project than a video than a game, So I chose to make an Android game, and of course, because like there's a lot of programming behind it, and I did like a battleship game. And I've always loved games. I never really thought about making one, but after making that senior project battleship game, I was like, experimented a lot with AI in it, and um, and game mechanics, states, and kind of battleship being it was just a you versus AI, and so that's kind of how it all started. And I'm thinking, okay, let me see if I can like look into making a first-person shooter because those are the types of games that I like. And I started looking into some engines at the time, and this is in like 2013, and I kind of stuck with CryEngine because at the time it had like the nicer rendering, it looked better than Unreal, than Unity. Um, so without really knowing much about the back end of Unreal, I mean of CryEngine. So spent maybe I think 5 years in CryEngine, learned a lot. Um, but didn't really get too much done, unfortunately, for my project. So in 2018, I switched to about the middle of 2018, I switched over to Unreal and started working on this game. This was kind of what I was trying to do in CryEngine, abandoned CryEngine and went to Unreal. And so yeah, right now I'm in a place where mostly all the mechanics are in place, and now I'm just trying to build out this world, this area where um, at least the initial part of the game is going to take place. I already have a bunch of other areas built out, um, like there's this dam area over here, with kind of just like a dam entrance, um, and kind of like the mechanical area of the dam, which I initially started it I initially thought of it as a kind of a bunker, but then I'm thinking, it doesn't really make sense. What would a bunker be in here? So I kind of started looking at it as a like the maintenance area of the dam. So, things like so this area was also in place, so just some mechanical rooms around here, um, and back here. It's I like the fog is a little too strong, so my bad. Some sleeping quarters over here, and yeah. So this is part of also part of the world itself. Like residential area over here. A little bit of like mission points, with some of these three antennas are going to be tied into a couple of missions. Like a little bit of a mobile park over here. Unfortunately, the map, I managed to break the terrain, so there's like some weirdness with this. And this is kind of where an important area of the game is in terms of story is. And so I'm not going to talk too much about that. But yeah, there's like a motel area here that we actually worked on this, I believe, last week. So yeah, the world itself is coming together. It's getting really close. But I just wanted to have this area polished up as good as I can before before having the demo out. And of course, I'm still working on in parallel, not not so much shown in the streams because it's just boring work, but trying to get, optimize things as best as I can. And you know, uh, during the streams, I'm trying to um, kind of show some of the updates on mechanics, whether I did any mechanics work over the past week. And yeah, so that's pretty much it. Um, oh, thank you, Anthony. Thank you so much. And Liam, yeah, thanks, man. Thank you. Um, hey, Hisham, welcome. And Jim, what are the black outlines like honeycomb? Oh, yeah. So what that um, is a tool called It's called IA scatter tool. So what I do with this, I basically use it to I think a best place to show it would be over here to create sidewalks like this, or to let's see, like this one's again a sidewalk, to place, like bushes like this, like around here, if I can get out of the building, like this stuff, to place trees in maybe locations like this one or this one, um, in maybe in some locations where the procedural foliage volume would not spawn them because it's either on a slope or either on um, a different terrain material. Um, yeah, you can use the paint tool, but I think the paint tool kind of relies on the setting what that you use for like the vegetation. So I haven't really spent too much with it, and I'm seeing some issues here, like these are spawned in midair, so I need to address that. But yeah, I kind of like this procedural way. I mean, the paint tool is still procedural to some extent. I mean, to the extent of, where the things get placed. But I kind of liked it this way because I can just kind of place them on a spline and just tell it, okay, I'm going to need it to be like starting from this end over to that end. A big use of it is to place actors. So I'm using it to place these dynamically generated or like these electrical poles. So I have a YouTube tutorial on my channel to create these poles and just link them together manually. But what I did is I extended this to be dynamically. So, and then I can just place them with this scatter tool alongside the road, you know, like around here, so just to place them along the road and then they would link together dynamically, to the one in front of it. So then I can just modify the spline and just say if I change the road, I'll modify the spline a little bit to adjust to the road. So this is kind of what I use it for. I also use it for like to spawn decals, again on the spline, like say for example you got the road. And I just wanted to put some, some patch decals along the road, just again randomly. So that's pretty much what this tool is. It's I've I've used it a lot, and it's very useful for things like this. Oh, hey Liam, no worries, no worries. Glad to have you. Glad to have you. Welcome. Um, I haven't put that much modeling of myself, right? Most of it is assets off of the marketplace. Um, if not, yeah, I think all of it. Yeah, all of it is marketplace assets. A bunch of them I've kind of just tweaked, edited, changed the materials so that like for example, the sidewalk. Um, like a lot of these buildings are not how they started off with the original package. Of course, then placing them and trying to build this based on some kind of, world reference stuff that I like and stuff that I've seen around the area where I live. And but But yeah, as far as the modeling, like I saw, like the assets are from various marketplace packages. So luckily, that's one advantage of Unreal over, I think Unity is doing pretty well with their marketplace, but I think Unreal's marketplace is the best. Yeah, that was one thing, that it's one thing that I've always kind of wanted to have, to be able to have the time to make some of these assets myself, but I'm also aware that, I'm not the most talented when it comes to this, so I'll leave it to the professionals, and I'm just gonna try and use the stuff that they have, and luckily there are quite a few marketplace creators that price their stuff reasonably, um, and um, and I'm all for buying their things, even if maybe sometimes I don't use them just because I want to support them. Yeah, so I think just throwing in some of these puddles definitely definitely helps with the overall look. All right, so there we go. We got some of those broken pieces, and now I think I can also use um, one of those that isn't, and we'll see how it can be used in here. Oh, hey, Hisham. Um, yeah, you can definitely do that. Of course. I didn't like I've never had a crash, but yeah, I can definitely see how that could happen. Yeah, for sure. All right, so let's see how this one would fit into some of these spaces here. If it would look okay enough to use. I'm not 100% on it, but mm, I don't know. Let's keep it out for now. I'm just not gonna use it. And let's see about adding this decal out here as well. Oops, I don't want to do that. Let's try and add it around here. That's pretty good. Okay, not too shabby though. I've kind of mistakenly placed them a little bit too high up. So let me lower them to street level. All right, so grab these pieces. This one, this, and the decals. All right, let's try and kind of place them. I'm usually just going off of by the sidewalk, to be honest, when it comes to placing these. So I'm just trying to make the sidewalk, because I already know that in front, I've kind of set this where I wanted it to be. Um, so this little this back of the house sidewalk, I just want him um, to try and get him as close as possible first. So maybe about there. This one is actually sloping down, so I need to bring it up a little bit just to match where the house is. Okay, there we go. That is pretty good. I'm okay with that. Let's just address the terrain here for a little bit. Yeah, so NGM, if you're still around, hopefully that sounded interesting to you. Let me know. All right, so let's get that one in as well, and then this piece. Let's try and place it to about there. Oh, you were getting that one. Yeah, I was actually getting that one too. So I know how you feel. Uh, Definitely. There we go. That's pretty cool down there. I'm guessing some of the decals didn't really move along. And then this piece, did I make a duplicate or maybe I don't even need that? There we go. We can like remove one of those. Okay, cool. Not too bad. Let's see how this side here is going to turn out. I'll just flatten the rest of this out. And the reason I'm using this one over here is since we're sculpting, I'm going to try and make this here match. So let's flatten it out to about this. Let's see if that's close enough. Oh yeah, I think that's going to be okay. So that way this kind of transitions into the kind of the backwoods behind this uh, apartment complex. And then I can paint, as I did before, some grass around here. So we're getting some of this grass around the edge of the apartment area. There we go, just like that. And let's also remove some of this stuff from here, since this is just going to be parking lot. There we go. All right, well let's continue with this area here, this section, and see how this is going to turn out. This piece I might need to adjust it, but we can just easily move it this way. It doesn't interfere with anything. And maybe a little more. Let's try to about there. So kind of like this would be like a new development. This is like maybe like an oil development. And I'm just trying to find a place where to cut off from the newer asphalt to this kind of broken up section. Let's see how that's gonna turn out. Hisham, do you know Plants Factory? You know what? That name sounds familiar, though I can't really place it. Like I can't tell from where it sounds familiar. You know what I mean? Like what do they do? Is it like advertised on the tin? They have like plants, like literal just vegetation stuff. Okay, cool. Um, so I do know there's somebody on the marketplace and they're called Scans Factory, but this one no. Are they on the Unreal marketplace? All right, so these join together pretty good. We need to sculpt the terrain down a little bit more. Oh, okay, okay. Yeah, I can't say that I've heard of them, but But thank you so much for bringing it up. That sounds like an interesting, 'cause yeah, like I've never heard of these guys. All right, and look at that. And now I'm just going to be able to cut away a bunch of draw calls, just deleting these and also not using that asset anymore. So that's good. All right, we'll try and do this corner here as well, and that one. So let's try and get this in. See how this is gonna turn out. Oops. I'll try and get these to fit now. How close can we get this? I would say within acceptable limits there. Okay, there we go. See if we can like kind of move this around a little bit. It's pretty cool what you can do just with a decal. Because on one hand, it's like got, well, besides this area here, which is just like some, some crud or some kind of dirt gathered in that. Um, the water area is just flat surface, so it's it looks like a puddle, but it's just a decal. So that's pretty good. Okay, so that actually turned out better than I expected, to be honest with you. And so this is gonna join into this piece, which is like the newer asphalt I was talking about. Um, and let's try and make these, see how we can get them to join together. Let's just remove this from here. Probably use something like this over there. But yeah, let's see what we can do on this end. And I'm thinking this section here is already a little too high. So these pieces can probably be lowered a little bit. Just like that. So that should help with the transition. There we go. Okay, that's not too bad. Let me see this one. Why did I think that I'm using like a different type of material? Oh yeah, so it's this two-tone. I think it's a little bit darker, and I can paint. There we go. That's better. And I can also paint some of the vertex paint, so that way I can add a little bit of damage also on this surface where these meet. So it kind of should help a little bit with with the transition like this. Try and flatten this out a little bit because it looks like a speed bump. Okay, there we go. So now we got a little bit of variety happening between, um, so we don't have like everywhere the same kind of, flat area parking lot like we have over here. Um, and, once we kind of have something, oops, let me just move this over to the side a little bit here. So we have something more like we have on this corner back here. And we'll do the same thing, just add some of these like debris and like small and medium-sized assets to complete it. Oh, hey Hisham, why does my metahuman look like potato when I look at the sun? Uh, I'm not sure what you mean, but if you yeah, post a screenshot on Discord. I'm sure it'd probably be easier to look at and figure out something. But yeah, I'll try and take a look and see. I haven't noticed anything like that, so I right off the bat, I can't really tell. But but yeah, do share it and I'll try and take a look. All right, let's do the same thing over here for this end. Try to position that. Yeah, and this side is actually a little bit lower than this side, which again is one of those things that I wanted to do it like this, but it kind of I think it's just going to cause me some pain, but we'll see how we can how we can fix it. Yeah, as you can see, these are a little bit, I mean, not that it's necessarily horrible, but I think I wanted them to be a little bit higher. So let's just adjust this. I'm actually going to try and adjust this one back here like this. So a little bit of that dirt at the bottom of the curb is kind of coming through. And then let's try and do the same thing for this one. Okay, that's better. And I just need to extend this out a little bit and maybe a few more instances. There we go. Okay, and let's just bring these points down a little bit. Okay, that's good. So we got the car in here. These ones are in the right place. I'm just using this placeholder vehicle. And if anybody's is looking for some nice vehicles, these are off of Sketchfab, and it's the user is called Rena Fox. So I'll just put it here in chat if anybody's going to look at the chat. So just like spelled like this, and they have a number of free vehicles with of course with attribution, but yeah, I got quite a few of them that are really nice. They're like this one. This one's one of them. Um, this truck is also one of them, and it's actually a really good looking truck. I just need to kind of remove the labeling, kind of the branding on it. Let's see which one else. This like old rusted vehicle is also one of them, which is really nice. This one I think is the nicest of them all. Hey, Hochine, hopefully I said that right. My apologies if I didn't, but you're welcome. Glad glad you might find it useful. But yeah, like this one I believe is also from him. This Toyota kind of this looking vehicle. So so yeah, this rusted vehicle is also from him. So a lot of good stuff. He's got some paid ones as well, which um, are also really nice. But yeah, if your budget is like mine, meaning non-existent, um, I mean, not non-existent, but like, limited. Uh, yeah, he's got some awesome stuff. Okay, so let's also try and get this little pane here, get that placed. And this one I can now remove. We don't need that. And I'm trying to figure out if I want to keep this around. For now, I'm just gonna move it to the side and try and see if we can get kind of a similar alleyway like on the other side with these kind of broken up pieces. Let's see if any of that would work. And I'm just trying to kind of continue this ditch, uh, like like we have it here. You can see it, uh, and just kind of continue it onto the driveway. Let me just sculpt this area down a little bit here, just like that. And it actually works out pretty good, I think. With this puddle decal. Um, oh, where'd you go? There it is. Just almost there. There. So kind of just continuing with it. It kind of flows towards the flows towards um, the sewer. But yeah, there we go. That's actually pretty decent, I think. But I need to try and kind of match these angles here because, as I was telling you, this building is a little bit lower than this building since the street is slanted. And as I was mentioning, uh, yeah, I was trying to do it, but it does end up just hurting in the end. But we can adjust it. We can make it work, I think. Just bump this up a little bit like so and push it back. And this would just be a step for like a curb step, I think is what they would call it. Let me see where that mesh is. And so basically this is what I meant. Just to use one of those. Unfortunately, that's not the right one. I'm gonna need to delete this one because it's not like a double-sided like this one. So there we go. We got a corner, and now these ones are almost on the same level. And at this end, I can just lower this down a little bit. This point, and this is one of the unfortunate things sometimes if I come from, um, yeah, yeah, Hisham, that's true. It's not, doesn't have to be, entirely perfect, but I'm just trying to get them as close as possible. Like for example here, this one's sticking out a little bit, so I'm gonna play around with that a little bit later. But this one is almost in the right spot. Just need to kind of turn it a little bit, just like that. And this piece here, let's see if we can use this one. It seemed to work okay for some of these transition pieces. And just to join things together. And I think it does okay. Let's see. Yeah, there we go. Just to cover that that gap between them. You know, like, because without it, it'd be this space here where they joint. And with it, there we go. Not really liking this really straight line here. I'm not sure. Oh, this is, oh yeah. Wait, where is it? Why is that such a straight line? There we go. Okay, that's a little bit better. I think that will do. All right, so the alleyway is kind of continued on. Let's see if we can make it all the way into the street, or at least as close to it as possible. You know, sometimes this is what's difficult with some of these scans, just trying to get them to work. There we go. That's a better positioning there. Okay, that's good. So I'm going to use one of these pieces to do the transition into the road. Let's give that a shot. All right, so see, like, sometimes this is what's difficult with this tool, is that it's yeah, it's creating these really easily and it's instanced, but you know, when it comes to just placing things together, that's where a little bit of the difficulty comes in, but I think we can work something out. Just gonna leave this here. And we'll figure something out for that little gap. But now as this one rolls into the street, I think I can just use what I already have here. To try and place it like this. Let's see, can we get it in there? Maybe it worked better like on this angle here. Yeah, see, this is why I wanted to kind of taper down, or like kind of bring down the edges for these meshes so that I can like put some of these together as best as I can. Like, see, some of these, they don't merge together really well. This is also pretty flattened out, so if I kind of bump it up a little bit, maybe it will help. There we go, that's better. So it kind of contacts the ground as well. And there we go. That's pretty good. And then kind of the back alley here with the puddle. Not sure if I need to extend this out anymore. Like, just add another one of these decals. Let's see if we can. You know, just having some of these reflections. I'm not sure why, but I've Always liked them in video games. I think sometimes they might be a little bit overused, but um, yeah, there we go. To that extent, I think it's like I don't want to overdo it either. But yeah, we got some puddles going around here and back here, just due to the conditions of the road. These guys have not invested that much in this side of this end of the town. Okay. So that was actually pretty good, I think. Um, uh, bro, my metahuman is like the best looking face the whole time from a close distance, and using the same LOD but a higher distance is actually sorry looking. Yeah, and that's I think that's a setting that you can do in the metahuman where you can tell it where at what point to switch um, to a lower LOD because it also changes changes everything. But like if you look at my metahuman, and then again, so let me give you an example. Like this guy over here, you will see like he it's a lower LOD from. I'm not sure if it like takes into account the distance to the camera now, but it's um it's a pretty low LOD here, but if as you close in, see the LOD changes. So I'm not entirely sure how far away you want to be able to see the face. I mean, you're not going to be able to see it anyways, but um, I'm not sure how far away you want to be able to be with that. So, all right, well, let's finish off this end of this and also maybe get this parking lot set up so we can kind of get this corner done or as close to done as possible. So I'm going to continue and extend this out to about here. hmm And let's put a little bit more instances, maybe to about there. Not so far, like just looking at the prairie for the camera, like rotating the camera. Ah, okay, so that's actually pretty close. So I'm wondering if when you generated the metahuman, did you select like the highest level of detail? I'm not sure. I think that's what it's called. Hmm. Yeah, like I said, just post it on Discord, just so folks on there can get a reference on what's going on. I'm sure hopefully somebody will have an idea about that. All right, so now that we're here, let's just move this parking lot off to the side just a little bit. Oh yeah, Pesh Pesh, good suggestion. But I'm thinking if you don't use nanite for your project, like I don't use nanite in my project, um, up close my character um, is fine. All right, so let's see, what do we want to do with this one? Um, Let me just quickly edit it. And I think that's all it took. I just wanted to save uh, this eye scatter tool here for a little bit before I do this side of this end of the building with the sidewalk. So let's bring this sidewalk over. Yeah, I believe it might be. Yeah, so Pesh Pesh, that's a great thank you for bringing that up because I've tried using nanite, but I've seen like a fall in frame rate when I turn on nanite for the project, but you know, maybe it's just the way I'm using it as well. Um, so that's a good point. Thank you so much for bringing that up because um, I haven't spent too much time on with you know looking into nanite. Um, but but yeah. Um, so have you experimented with it a lot? With nanite, I mean, because every time I see something about it, it's like, oh, you know, it improves performance and all that, but I wasn't able to actually, you know, get it to the almost, you know, my assets are also not nanite, so I haven't enabled nanite on, or actually have disabled nanite on some of the assets that I use. But I'm curious to hear your thoughts. Um, Now, also, is it how dependent is it on your rig, like on your video card, or it doesn't really matter? Oh, okay, yeah. So that's what that's the one thing that I knew about it, that for foliage it wasn't great. So I think that's what kind of put me off. I was kind of w wondering if, oh, you know what, this could be a perfect usage for foliage. But yeah, that's kind of that lines up with what I've heard about nanite when it comes to foliage. Because like for static acids, I haven't used it that much, but or actually haven't used it at all. So that's on me. But that's good to hear. So I might just have to give it a shot, you know. Oh, nice. Okay. Where's the pivot point there? Oh yeah, I forgot about that. Yeah, you're right. Um, yeah, that's why now I remember. That's why I kind of did not make use of virtual shadow maps because I think or of nanite because I think it does need the virtual shadow maps, and that has an impact on performance. Like Pesh Pesh, are you using the virtual shadow maps as well? And I'm guessing what are you seeing on that? If that is if you're seeing any issues. Hmm. Yeah, I see what you're saying, Hisham. Okay, so there we go. We got some of that going there. And what I wanted to do is wanted to edit this little level and replace these. And I think it might be better to just bring them from here. All right, let's see how we can get this in. Oh, come on, I thought I turned this snapping on. There we go. And maybe, yeah, let's keep this like this because this is a level that I'm using in other places in the game as well. This kind of a parking lot area. All right. So, oh, no, not. I didn't want to do that. I actually wanted to move this one around like this. Okay, so let's exit out of this. We'll kind of leave this in place as it is. Oh, gotcha. Yeah, and I haven't looked into it either too much. Um, Also, I'm not entirely sure if there is a guide on using these two together. Like kind of an easy to nowadays, I'm trying to just find some things that are like easy to follow, you know. All right, so these come together pretty well. That's good. But I think I might change this one to like a uh, the double-sided mesh here. So for this one, let's try and use this mesh. There we go. And let's go with this one so they blend together a little bit better. Okay, that's pretty good. So we can delete these, cut down on another map that I'm not using, or like some textures. These as well. This one, this one. All right, and that sidewalk is going to end right there, which should be good. And I might as well just, let's see, can we make it like this? Oh, that's a cool design. I want to have that at my home. Huh. Okay. Uh, haven't really seen anything like that before, but um, hey, you know what? Use your you gotta use some imagination. All right. So now I'm just gonna use these to make these sides over here. Hey, Miles, welcome, welcome. How are you? And again, another thing that we can get rid of. Welcome, welcome to the stream. Let's see if we can place this here. Yeah, that's true. That's what I've been using for some of the town. When it comes to these little parking lot areas, I just wanted to make like a little bit of a uh, rectangular shape type of area um, to fill in some spaces. So it's like just to fill in some areas along the roads. Like say like a park and ride, right? That's that was my thought. So this would be kind of just something to use for that. Okay. And these ones, these parking curbs. Okay, so I'm using them out of the right place. There we go. Let's do the same thing on this end. Oh, hey, Miles, that's awesome. Great to hear. How's progress going? How's the progress going? All right, so there's those, just to try and place these. All right, so we got that in place. Now I just wanted to get one of these and put it in here. So Hisham, actually yes. Um, and thank you so much for bringing that up because that was one mechanic that I have going, but I've never actually shown it. So um, so just keep me honest. Next stream, I'll need to show it to you because I think I might need to. I think there might be some bugs, but I'll try to get that to get that going and get it fixed before the next stream. So yeah, do ask me about it and I'll show you how it works. It was actually something I've done a while back and I was like, oh, this is actually pretty cool. And so yeah, just like kind of literally as breaking a wall. Um, okay, so we got this in place. It looks pretty decent. But let's finish off this area here. So it's something pretty simple. Like you would literally interact with it and just hit it with your foot, and you need to hit it a couple of times before it, you know, air quotes breaks and you can like pass through it. Okay, so this is good. I think I'll leave it the way it is here. And I'm just going to work with sculpting this terrain a little bit around here and here just to cover these ends. And let's paint some grass around here at the end of the parking lot. Um, why don't you just put very, very small rocks everywhere? I think it looks great. What do you mean, like around around this parking area, or I think that that car is like a little bit undersized. I need to check it against. I mean, it's easier like this. Um, oh, I see what you're saying. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Yeah, let's try it out because I was using it. I wanted to get some of this stuff from here just to add it on the backside of those buildings, you know, just as a kind of just some filler assets. So so let's get some of this stuff over here, and we'll also try and get some try your idea with some of the rocks. And maybe this one, we'll put it over here because this is just kind of a straight line and I just wanted to break it up with some of this stuff. There we go. And this thing here, just for like, you know, junk and stuff, like dirt, not dirt, but, you know, around this dumpster, just to have some various type of debris. But let's see how your idea would work. So I'm gonna use this, and let's see if we can find some small kind of rocks. Let's see. Yeah, and that's definitely true. And I brought this up because I was playing Rage 2 a couple of weeks ago, and they had so much like some of the areas on the map, they were like kind of just trash areas and stuff, but they had so much of the stuff and like the car was just bouncing like crazy. It was really annoying. But yeah, I totally get what you're saying. No, and that's one of the things that I've been trying to do. Everything that's small doesn't have collisions. So yeah, when you look at it, your foot might go through it a little bit if you're really paying close attention. But but yeah, those I kind of have no collisions on. So let me see if I have some like small type of rocks and some other things like that. Not sure if I do though. like maybe like pebbles, right? I think that's what I'm looking for. I think I might have some pebbles. Maybe not. I think I was doing some cleanup and I removed a bunch of the stuff that I wasn't using. Yeah. So Hisham, I'll give that a try. I'll see if I can find some pebbles and some of these things to add here and there. But in the meantime, let's kind of add a little bit to that border, not border, but the kind of the separating line between like the forest area and the parking lot, and just add some of these, like kind of back here. And it's interesting, like I think I might have scaled this up. That's why I was wondering why the thing is so big, like the little honeycomb, um, you know, kind of billboard gizmo, whatever you want to call this. But yeah, there we go. So okay, that's not too bad. I think we've got some pretty good stuff going today. I will try and do something of one thing that not necessarily bothers me, but I I'm gonna try and find something to place atop of these buildings, just because they feel a little too this kind of straight lines, and there's nothing to break the line up. I'm not sure why it just bothers me a little bit. Not you know not too much, but it kind of it does a little bit. So let's place a couple of these out here. All right. Okay, perfect. So, I think we got pretty much everything that I was hoping to get done today during the stream, guys. And yeah, one thing, just to do with these walls, just to try and break it up with some decals and some patches, and like, kind of like I did over here. Um, I'm gonna try and grab some of these and see if I can use them in a way that doesn't look like, oh, well, I've just seen them. I've just seen these two streets down. So, this type of stuff to see how I can kind of position them around. I don't know. This one's is pretty generic, like things like this. Just kind of, maybe joints in the brick and so on. But this one is pretty unique, I would say. Yeah, Pesh Pesh, thank you so much for stopping by. I really appreciate your words and taking the time to comment. But yeah, do I have you in Discord? I really appreciate the help, especially like I might I might reach out on just related to to the nanite, just so I can get a better understanding on it. But but yeah, are you on the Discord for this game? I was just because I know I'm not sure if you can reach out to folks over um, like through their YouTube accounts, you know. I'm not sure how easy that works or if it's even possible. All right, so there we go. That actually I think that helps quite a bit. Oops, that helps quite a bit. Oh yeah, thank you so much. Uh, because there's other people that might pose some questions, and I'm sure they would be happy to get some help and some answers to some stuff. Okay, well, guys, thank you again so much for taking time out of your Sunday and stopping by for getting close to 2 hours, and that's usually how long I like to run the streams. But yeah, hope everybody has a uh, great week coming up, a great rest of your Sunday, or Monday morning. And I won't be doing a stream next week, but I'll see you the Sunday after. So from today, I'll see you in a couple of weeks. And yeah, maybe there won't be too many updates because I'll just be visiting some friends, so I might not be around close to the computer too often. But yeah, hopefully I'll see you then. Take care, everybody. All right. See you next week. See you in a couple of weeks. Bye.